try and explain why your stop loss gets hit and then the trade performs. So I've seen this happen to multiple people, where what happens is they have, for example, this is their support line, and the market is ranging somewhere like this. Okay, but what happens is so they are in a long position, so they want the market to go upwards, but just before it goes upwards, it dips down. Their stop loss is triggered, so they are out of the position, and once this happens, this is when the trade performs. So this can be pretty negative for multiple reasons, especially because it plays on your psyche. What I want to talk about today is why this happens, why your stop loss gets triggered and then the trade performs. Now, for this, let's just back up for a bit. Let's understand how the market moves. The market is moved by big institutions. These include mutual funds, central banks, your hedge funds, and the like. They are the ones who have a ton of capital. And now suppose Nifty is at 10,000, moved by institutions. What I mean by institutions include your central banks, your mutual fund houses, your hedge funds, etc. People with large amounts of money and large amounts of capital, and they usually buy or sell in bulk. So they will be looking at something like 1,000 lots or 10,000 lots at least. So what happens is, suppose Nifty is at 10,000 right here, and some news comes out, the unemployment data comes out or something comes out, and it's favorable. So they expect the market to go all the way up to 10,200. So they are bullish and they want to buy. However, the problem is that these guys can't enter the trade all here. Why? Because for 10,000 lots, there's not enough liquidity in the market. So they will face slippage. So their entire order might get executed somewhere around this line, because they need so many lots and that takes time. So this is the reason why ranges are formed, right? They can't, just understand one thing for now, that institutions can't buy everything all at once, because they will face slippage. So for example, if they place an order for 10,000, 100 might get executed here, the next 100 here, the next 100 here, and their entire order might get only filled here. So they've lost a significant amount of money. This could be around 10,050 or something. So they've already lost 50 points and they don't want that. What a range typically looks like. What we're going to discuss is why a range is formed. Now, as we explained before, institutional buyers, they can't buy everything at once. So suppose they have to buy 10,000 lots. What these guys will be doing is buying some here, buying some at this level, buying some at this level again. So every time the price reaches somewhere around here, you will see them buy. Okay, so in this particular example, they are loading up for buy and the market is going to shoot all the way up. Now that we know the theory behind the range, let's get to why spikes happen. So the first thing to understand is that sometimes what happens is the sellers, they do succeed in pushing the market down all the way till here, right? So what happens is they are buying some shares here, some shares here, some shares here, some shares here. What happens now is, because of sudden drop, now they can buy in a larger quantity. Suppose they've bought like 1,000 all the way so far. So they have 4,000 lots and their entire order was about 10,000. They still have to buy 6,000 more lots. But what happens is, at this particular point, they can now execute their entire buy order, because even if slippage happens, their entire price, what they'll get, will be an average of the entire zone. So the price will fall and then it will shoot all the way up and your move has been executed. This is when the big move happens. So hopefully now you understand why your stop loss gets triggered somewhere around here, and then eventually the trade performs the way you expect it to. What can happen at other times, the price can fall. You can see a small range being formed somewhere around here, and then the price shoots all the way up. Again, it's the same thing which is happening. These institutions are buying, and then all of a sudden they're hitting their sell. They're hitting their main order, and the price shoots all the way up. Enter my trade, and where should my stop loss be? Because again, this is pretty common, but doesn't happen all the time. The trade can just move up from here as well. The important thing to keep in mind is your stop loss can never be right below the range. So your stop loss can't really be here, because it will get triggered. There's a high chance of it being triggered. So you have to be very careful about where you enter. The problem I see with a lot of people doing is, so they'll look at this range, they'll form their views, right, that the market should go upwards because of fundamental factors, and also because, maybe volume is higher on the upswings. So on this areas, whenever the market's going upwards, there is greater volume. So that gives you some indication of where the market might just move, right? So one thing is, you can't enter your trades at the top. Is where your stop loss will be. Your stop loss will have to be somewhere around here, right? And this is already a pretty wide range. However, the smart thing to do is to enter when the market is at the bottom of the range. So if you're bullish, you should enter the market at the bottom. This way, you can have the same stop loss the other guy has. So your stop loss can be somewhere around here, but your stop loss won't be triggered. This is the important thing to keep in mind. Your stop loss can't be right below the range because it will get triggered and then the trade will perform. And you want to avoid that happening at any cost, especially because when the trade works in your favor and you still didn't make any money, it can have a very negative impact on the psychology for the day. To enter your trade, if you are bullish, you have to enter somewhere near the bottom of the range, and your stop loss can't be right below the support level, right? It has to be significantly below because you have to keep an eye out for these spikes which might happen. So hopefully this video has made clear of where to enter, especially if you're bullish, why stop losses get triggered. Hopefully we'll continue to make videos like this, and it can help you out in the future. Thank you.